In this program, I want to share with you some persons whose lives, like mine, have been transformed by what has become known as the Hare Krishna movement. Although the movement is anything but new, it was unknown in the Western countries until His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, came to the shores of America on a freighter at the advanced age of 70 years old. He carried the message of his spiritual master and of an entire disciplic succession of spiritual teachers. The remarkable feature of his presence was his inconceivable potency to plant the seed of devotion to Krishna in the hearts of so many thousands and now millions of people. By his mercy, the transcendental knowledge, familiar only to those initiated into the secret ambrosia of devotional service to Krishna, has become available to the entire world. We dedicate this program to him.
O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. It is he who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual. I therefore meditate upon him who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, practice the activities of devotional service.
From the very beginning, from a very young age, we have been given a purpose, we've been given a mission to accomplish. I feel very privileged, even special to have been brought up, raised in the Krishna consciousness movement, for all the training that I've received, and for the knowledge, the sense of mission and purpose to life.
It's flush-o-matic.
It all began when 12-year-old lead singer Prahlad wrote to Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev pleading for the release of Hare Krishnas imprisoned in the USSR. From that came a protest song aimed at Gorbachev.
Mr. Gorbachev, you may say you want peace and that's okay, but try to see our point of view, the Hare Krishna. We thought that if we wrote to Gorbachev and if we wrote a song for the world, that it might help in a little way. We are the Krishna kids. We've got something to say. We've got a message.
There seems to be a message in every one of those songs, doesn't there? They're very much a peace message, isn't it?
It's either peace, we want a better world, or we want the Hare Krishnas to be freed. There's a feeling that's in the children.
And now, I'm trying to give that same feeling, that same happiness, that same joy that I receive to other people. I'm traveling around the world and we're presenting Krishna consciousness to so many people in a very, very attractive way. We have a festival group here in Poland. We're also performing festivals in Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Russia, and all the countries of the CIS. We have our festival programs going on, and I'm very, very much involved in that. Krishna has given me some ability that I can sing and play musical instruments, and I very, very much enjoy doing that. All year long, 8 months of the year, we have the Lakshmana Shringa tour, and we're traveling to every major city in Poland, and we set up Krishna's Village of Peace, and We have a wonderful festival. We have a theater, we have Indian Bharatanatyam dancing, the band, and everything flows from one thing to the other.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
This man, Jurek Owsiak, is one of the most popular personalities in Poland, and he also organizes this big rock festival. So he heard about our festival group that we distribute thousands of plates of food. So he said, yes, we must have these people at our festival as well. There's a lot of people that are coming up to us and saying, do you remember me? I was like, yeah, I remember your face, but where was it from? No, I remember I was at your festival in this particular place, or somehow people are remembering us and getting to know us now. And a lot of it is due to this Woodstock festival. When we're standing on the stage in front of 30, 40,000 people and getting them all to chant Hare Krishna, it is an overwhelming experience.
The main success of the program is the children get a cultural training. It is brought to the point where they feel that this is their culture. Once they identify that the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is their life, then wherever they go, they are successful and they maintain their connection with the Krishna consciousness movement.
I went to Gurukul in Vrindavan and Mayapur, and when I turned 16, I tried different things and see what I could do on my own. I had a few friends there and decided a good thing to do, or something that would be interesting, would be to collect money for a bus and travel around India. I collected the money for the bus, and have a bus program. We travel around India and do preaching in different senses. Well, sometimes we do Harinam, and sometimes Food for Life and college programs.
Here in Vrindavan, what I like, my service or my mission, as I see it, is to help establish within our society our educational institutions. Our goal is to actually produce a class of, great acharyas, actually, who will, be so powerful that they'll be able to spread Krishna consciousness so much greater than we can in our present capacity. We're not only teaching something in the Shastra, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the books that Srila Prabhupada has written, but we're also training the students, especially the children, to live what's being said in those books.
We have regular curriculum over here, but we, plan in such a way that it starts with the Krishna and ends with the Krishna. I feel on every step, I'm guided with the principles of Krishna consciousness.
The government gave us some facilities, this building, and the government also approved our curriculum, and now we study different subjects which are approved. The parents give us children, and we take children from all over Moscow to our Gurukula. Now it's a day Gurukula, day school. We hope in some future it will be an ashram Gurukula.
We bought this land and we built the house, the school, which is now here as the Vaishnav Academy for Girls. The most rewarding moments in my service are when I get letters from my students that tell me that when they were here they really had a good time.
The added advantage, of course, is that we give Krishna consciousness, which is not available anywhere else. Actually, in a lot of state schools these days, it's actually against the law to teach religion within the school. All our teachers are older devotees, and and very committed to staying in the area and pushing the school.
When we came to Boise, there was no temple here, and we decided that for our children and for the community, there should be a place where they could practice Krishna consciousness. And so we opened up a small center, and gradually we've seen this fructify with the mercy of Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada said that everything is in his books: philosophy, logic, debate, science. And I took this to heart, and I taught Ravi and Gopal almost entirely through Prabhupada's books.
When I first took my first class in college, my teacher, she was always stressing these things. You have to learn how to look at arguments critically and think logically and these things. But it was already so natural for me because by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, I can develop this skill of critical thinking.
As one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of the material ocean by living with a wife.
They come from all over to witness a double Hare Krishna wedding at the Indian Temple in Belfast, once a Methodist church. It's also a marriage of another kind, between two almost alien faiths and cultures, Christianity and Hinduism, Irish and Indian. The petite Sonia McGar from Naas, County Kildare, is about to commit herself to Michael O'Hare, a former altar boy from an East Belfast Catholic parish. The other bride, a Jewess, is to marry a lad from Liverpool. This is the stuff of culture shock. Any mother, father, brother or sister might well ask, what motivates people to take such a drastic leap of faith and culture?
Here in the heart of Wicklow, a group of 6 Hare Krishna families have set up a little community for themselves.
They work the land, growing their own vegetables. They've even built a school for their children, and between them they employ a Hare Krishna teacher who lives in the schoolhouse with his wife and son. They aim at simplicity of lifestyle, honouring the words of their founder, simple living and high thinking.
Start with the biggest bridge at the bottom. It's good to start with the biggest, isn't it?
On Sundays, they meet as a community for worship and a meal together. Martin Blake is from Ballymurphy in Belfast. An IRA activist, he found Krishna consciousness while in Long Kesh. He married Helen Blameyer, a Protestant from the Malone Road area of Belfast. Far from sectarian Belfast, this is the place they've chosen to live and rear their 3 children.
It's lovely. I wanted my children to grow up in the country. I didn't want my children to grow up in the city. And I think they're having a beautiful childhood, and I'm so happy we moved here.
This is Pragosh, formerly Paul Murphy from Donecarney in Dublin. It was the Hare Krishna philosophy that appealed to him. He married a woman from Andersonstown in Belfast, now Galoka. She was known as Nicola Dalton. They were the first to move out of the monastic setting into the country.
The basis of the marriage is a spiritual basis. So when we enter marriage, we both know that it is for life and there will never be any separation.
Well, we've got something to live for. When you experience the happiness that a Christian consciousness brings.
There's a restriction for if you like, frivolous sexual activity. But for raising children in God consciousness, then that's a very acceptable form.
The beauty of Krishna consciousness is that you can, whatever you are doing, you don't actually have to change. All you have to change is your consciousness. So I love gardening. So instead of doing it for myself, I do it for Krishna. Like I would see this as Krishna's house, and I've made a garden for Krishna. So I love to spend as much time as possible in the garden.
Those who stay at home as householders must act to earn their livelihood. And instead of trying to enjoy the results of their work themselves, they should offer those results to Krishna.
永久にドイツである。魂は目に見えず想像でしか。
Srila Prabhupada gave us these farms. This is the last thing he gave us before he left this world. In a letter to New Govardhan in June 1977, this is the next aspect of Krishna consciousness which I wish to push forward. If I'm able to get well, I will make a tour and visit all the farms to make them perfect. If these farming communities become successful, the whole world will be enveloped by Krishna consciousness.
Srila Prabhupada personally encouraged me to develop a farm community. I felt a real sense of mission. So for years I searched for an opportunity. We found this property. The climate, the soil, the water conditions are just right for self-sufficiency. All types of crops can grow. If we actually learn to depend on the mercy of Krishna through nature, through the cow, through the land for our sustenance, then naturally the social economic structure will form in the right way. I have firm faith that this project is blessed by Krishna, and the more that we devote to it, we'll see full reciprocation.
You don't have to be big and tough and strong. This is not a prerequisite to working with the animals. The actual prerequisite is having this kindness, this gentleness. This aspect of love and trust and kindness is one of the most important aspects that we stress.
When they sit idle, they're not happy, you can tell. They're not happy at all. But when they're working, you can tell they're really content. It's very satisfying working with the land and the cows.
Where do we place our dependency? Do we want to place it on the big factories that make the tractors? Do we want to place it on the petroleum industry, which produces all the fuel for the tractors? Or do we want to place it on Krishna's paraphernalia, which are the cows, the bulls, the gifts of the land? So in self-sufficiency, we are changing our consciousness, we are changing our dependency from that of the industrialized state to that of Krishna's natural state.
Here we have 27 hectares own land, and this is quite a lot. We have some cows and bulls also. I would like to continue doing this gardening and farming, what I do now since 5 years, and this is my way how to show the people that there is how to live in a peaceful way in a simple way, where you can save time for much thinking about spiritual topics, about philosophical things, and a natural way of living which makes one feel happy and somehow in a oneness with the nature.
The whole idea of Charanagiri is self-sufficiency, cow protection, verminical program. Here in the valley, there's enough resources for all those things. There's enough resources for growing our food. There's enough water in the hills, and there's a lake. And then we have enough grass for the animals. And then we lose the local material also to some degree to build our houses. We have our cows where we produce our milk products from. There's about 100 devotees living here, including children. So in this way, we don't have to go and work within the material society so much we can. Like myself, I've been living here for 5 years, but for the past 2 years, I've been living strictly on the farm, not going anywhere, just by the resources of the farm.
Before I came here, I had been a manager of the Coca-Cola plant in Natal and a professor at the university. I left those occupations to pioneer this farm with my brother. We wanted to develop a self-sufficient community. With this idea in mind, we used our savings to purchase this beautiful land. We can already show some progress in our protection of the 100 or so cows that live here. We have built some alternative machines, like our banana drying oven. Our guests appreciate that we are doing things without relying on so much sophisticated technology. Although everything we do is very simple, we show them that we can create products that are efficiently produced and superior in quality.
We are building our houses. We have one family living from his garden. He sells his vegetables, he has his money, and he can live without go to the city. I am paying the Gurukul with vegetables and milk. I don't pay. Then the need of money is less. I don't need to go to the city. I stay here working with the bulls, working in agriculture, in the garden, protecting the cows, and I can live, no problem.
I came to the area and found this area totally denuded. It had been just clear cut over the last 30 years, and there were no birds, no animals at all. And gradually we planted all these trees, different native trees, different fruit trees to attract the birds, and different animals that bring the seeds from the primary forest up in the hills. And in this way, we gradually brought in the forest. As the representative of the ecological part of Nova Gokula, I was recently elected by other environmental groups as their representative in the newly created Committee for the Management of the Water Resources in the Paraíba River Basin. I think we have a mission of saving all these species and this ecological balance just for the glory of Krishna. So that's my greatest satisfaction, to see that all these different life forms, they can come here and they can join the devotees in the association of Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda, and in this way we can glorify Krishna.
to shake you, meant to break you, make you fall. Living a simple life's not such a simple thing.